That'd be right.
Oh, gosh, now everyone needs to watch their mouths.
I don't know how I do that.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
You gotta go over here and say it's okay.
Yeah, record.
Yep, okay.
Hi,
Hey,
Chris.
Terry,
Public meeting.
and I thought, did I say something?
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
Rhonda, we just saw you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi there.
Oh, so far away already.
So,
You missed our snowstorm.
I know.
I don't know that she missed it.
Yeah, I'm in what? It's very warm here.
Yeah, we're in the 90s now.
Yeah, we are too.
Thank goodness for that storm that came through and cooled it down a little bit.
Hi, Shalia.
Hi, Shalia.
Shalia, hi.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Karen.
Oh, good. Don't let him see.
and hey, Kaisa.
Hi.
Kenny.
The bear.
All right.
This is
Oh my God.
Dax.
Hey, Dax.
Awesome.
He's not
How you guys doing?
Where's Rodney's not gotten on yet? That's all right.
He's,
Rodney, yeah, he is.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Hey,
Hey there, Rodney.
there you are.
Kenny.
Where's Melissa?
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Looks like Grandpa.
Want us to get around the table?
He does.
Well, you look like your
You
mother.
got your camera turned on yourself?
Okay, all right, guys. So,
We're gonna get around the table, so we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
So the best way we thought would be, if whoever's supposed to do the talking or, reminiscing.
Oh, Rod, where's Melissa?
to-
She'll join here in a minute.
Okay.
for posterity, and we could do our chat and-
The tail.
Awesome. You know what else what I was supposed to say?
Just look at the camera when,
Okay.
yeah.
So when you're up here sharing, make sure you look in the little green dot at the top.
And
So,
speak up.
what's that?
And speak up.
And speak up. Okay, so Tennille, do you want to start your slideshow?
Yep, we can start that way, no problem. All right, I'm gonna mute everyone just so so the background noise, is that okay?
Yep.
Okay,
You guys, I don't know if you want to stand here or sit. Yeah.
or you can mute yourselves.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Mom, can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All right, guys. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. So, John, would you like to just say a quick prayer and then we can?
Yes, I would love to.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I should have- Okay. Okay, so if we can.
Father, we come to you this afternoon, thanking you for the life of Ron and Betty and the influence that they've had on so many, including us as a family, Lord, and that we miss them, but we know they're with you. And so, Lord, we have hope in that, and we have peace in that. But Lord, I ask your blessing on this get together that we have, that the memories that we cherish would come forth, and we'd be able to openly share with one another, and that you would come and be with us, and that your presence would bless us with peace, and that, Lord, that hope that we have within us would shine forth, that we know, Lord, who you are, and that you love us, and that ultimately we'll all be together in heaven. And we look forward to that day. But for today, Lord, let the fellowship be good. Let it be sweet, and let us enjoy one another as family, and just bless this time, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. So we decided it was probably easier because this is being recorded. Whoops, it is being recorded so that we can save it and share it with those that could not be here. And it was probably easier if whoever was speaking would come up and sit here, kind of make sure that you're invisible or in line with that green light, and so we can hear you. And then so we might just take turns just coming up and sitting and sharing. Okay, so I don't know who wants to start. Marilyn, would you like to start? No. Okay. All right.
I will.
Okay. John, start.
Okay, you want me to look into here?
Yep.
Okay, my name's John, and I joined the family about 40 years ago. And I always heard about Uncle Ron, right? And the trickster and all the things that he did. I was certainly informed by many in the family about who he was. I didn't get to meet him till about 20 years into that 40-year journey, maybe 15 years. But anyway, I got to meet him, and yeah, he fulfilled his reputation. So, but we had a good time with them, and I always enjoyed going to their home because Betty has the gift of hospitality, and she makes it so comfortable to be in her home and make sure that your needs are met. And so it was always a blessing to be in their home, and they love to play cards, and so do I. So I try to cheat, didn't work so good, but I enjoyed playing cards with them and got to have a good relationship with them, and, you know, reunite at the reunions and the things that we did in the journey of life. Got to spend time with them in their home down south. And so I have really appreciated, as the outsider, the non-Dutch guy, being able to participate with them. And I just love them very much and look forward to seeing them again. So thank you very much.
Hi there, guys. I can remember Ronnie from, we started in basic training together in Fort Carson, Colorado, and we were in the Army together. And so he was a favorite person of mine. He always did his best. When he was in the Army, you know, he was on the honor guard, and he always got to the top wherever he went. And you could learn a lot from that guy because he's pretty smart. And a lot of you kids got a lot of that smartness also. So, but I do appreciate, you know, the hospitality from Ron and Betty, and especially when Jane passed away and they took me in just like another person, and it just showed love. And then she stole my dog. You know, we went to a reunion in Iowa, and I was going to take him home, and she said, "No, you're not." And she loved that little dog, but he passed away, and Ronnie him and I took him down to the vet, and Ronnie cried when we had to put that poor dog to sleep. And just, there's so many good memories of both of them, and I'm going to miss them both. And thanks for being family. That's all I got to say right now, but love y'all.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else want to?
I am so glad she could be here for my 90th birthday. At least I got to spend one night with her. And you know what? In the hospital, she was suffering, so I would not want her to have lived that way. But I have a lot of fond memories, especially when her and Phyllis used to sleep together, and Phyllis wouldn't let her touch her.
She had cooties.
So then Betty would come and sleep with me. If I had a girlfriend, there would be 3 in our bed. So we shared a lot. And so we went through a lot together, and love her, and hope someday to see her again soon. Good to see you guys. It's been a long time.
And those on Zoom, feel free to unmute yourself if you guys have something to share too.
Here I am been talking. I forgot to unmute.
You're looking older.
Older and better.
That's true. Yes.
Hold on, I gotta move my face out of the way so I can see you. There you are.
You look like your dad.
Yeah, he does.
I guess it's my turn. So hello, everyone on the other side of the country.
Hey,
How are you, Rod? Good to see you.
better than I deserve.
Yeah, look a little gray there, I'd say, yeah.
No, it's the sunlight.
You know,
You're in Pennsylvania, though, aren't you?
It's true.
Yeah.
So, you know, your parents were wonderful to me, and I know that I was the favorite nephew, so I'll take that. But, you know, I can remember a lot of the family reunions we'd have up at Scraggy, and it seemed to always land on Ronnie's birthday, and the 4th of July, right? And I mean, I always remember that, and the one thing I can remember about him is Pabst Blue Ribbon. So, I have no idea. Kid, he always seemed to have it there, and ever since then, that's always been a big remember. And Aunt Betty was always sweet, and I know she's in a better place, and we'll all get lucky to see her again one day. I know that. So good to see everybody. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, but hopefully some of us will try to figure out how to do a family reunion again. It'll be good to see
In person.
Is that a commitment from you?
Oh, no. I would be glad to help, but I am not chairing this thing. I'm in the air every week, so it's kind of tough for me. So I appreciate it. So good to see everybody.
Hey, just real quick on what Darren said, that I remember growing up, obviously Dad had the Pabst Blue Ribbon. And when I got married and moved to my own house, I invited him over, we had dinner or whatever, and I had Pabst Blue Ribbon there. And he says, "You drink this stuff?" I said, "Well, yeah, because you did." He goes, "Tastes like crap, but it's cheap." I said, okay. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, everybody. I have
Hey.
lots of memories of both your mom and dad. They were very special to us. But I always used to think my mom was bad for all the extra canned goods she kept. So I got to your mom's house one time in California, and I opened the doors. I swear she had a grocery store in there. It was amazing. And then we found the pop, and half of it was outdated, but she got it on sale.
Yep.
You know, that Dutch thing. And I also remember the trip we took to Europe with my parents, Aunt Betty and Aunt Philly. The 2 Uncle Rons wouldn't go with us, but we had so much fun with your mom and all of just traveling all over. We just have wonderful memories of them.
Anybody else want to get up? Okay.
I know, yeah. Anyway, when I was single, your dad did a lot for me because I had a car and he'd take care of it. When I moved to California, they told me I need new brakes. He said, no, you didn't need new brakes. I just looked at them. And he always teased me because I had a space between my teeth and always spit at me. But we always loved him and we had a lot of good times. And he's kind of a jokester all the time. Always played jokes on Dad. Your mom, I didn't really kick her out. She had cooties. Her choice, and I didn't kick her out, but that's the whole story, and she lies a lot, so. But anyway, I loved her very much, and we had good times. Yeah, that trip to Europe, I slept with her. But she always made me host the suitcase up, and I had a bad back. That was okay. Yeah, we had a lot of good memories. We'll miss her very much, and I hope we can all get together with you guys again sometime. So we love y'all.
Love you too.
Love you too.
One more thing.
Oh, all right.
When I married Deke, I had 3 swordsmen over my stereo. And they had swords, and every time he came to my house, he'd take the swords and hide them. Well, your dad was pretty ornery. And then one day, your folks went away and I had to take care of Rodney. Oh my gosh. And he'd get that off the wall and I'd get him down and he'd get in the fireplace, and he was really, really ornery. I was really, and I had 7 kids. All 7. But between Rodney and your dad, I lost a lot of years. Still made it to 90.
Trying to keep it lively.
Yeah, you kept me lively, all right, between you and Rhonda. I remember coming to the house one day and I looked out the window and there's Rhonda with a cigarette and high heels. And you were with her. And then when she sees us, she throws a cigarette away, and then she starts a fire.
I remember that well.
Broad.
Threw the high chair down the stairs and cut off all the cords.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Terry, you want to share something? I know.
Come on, Jerry. We haven't seen you in a long time.
You can't.
I can't, sorry.
Well, I know, like, from the first day I met Ron, he was just so easy to be around. And he was a lot of fun. I mean, I went over to pick up Terry to bring her to work, and Ron had been traveling, so I met him that first day, and he was like, well, why don't you come back? And we hung out, and he was just a really special man, and like you said, very smart, and it's no surprise he always rose to the top. I've always thought I've been a better man for knowing him, and Betty was a perfect complement to Ron. They were made for each other. I miss them both.
Oh, I do. Miss them both.
I'll talk. It's hard for me to talk, so I'm just going to babble a little bit, but Dad taught me a lot of life lessons. Just do the best you can. And you can do anything you want. So that helped me as a female, like no matter what you put your mind to, you can do what you want. And that even if it's something boys or men normally do, you can do it. And that gave me a lot of strength. And my parents taught me a lot of good values and morals that I'm just so thankful for. Because a lot of families don't have that. And, you know, they had quite a life together and enjoyed each other. Did a lot of trips together, and we went cross country, and we spent a lot of time with Kenny and his kids. And, you know, mom was a tough cookie, you know. He had to, you know, basically raise us kids when dad was traveling all the time. And, you know.
Now I understand why she's always tired. She had you too.
Wait a minute.
Well, yeah, we were a handful, Rodney. Well, the relatives, when I went back to Denver, reminded me of all our story, you know, all the stuff we did, of which I don't remember most of it, but I don't doubt them. We were trouble. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's been about 35 years since I met both of them, and I can just say that Ron and Betty as Farleys, exposing me to the balls and the white sides and the Steenhooks, really expanded my view of people and what being a character can mean. Your mom, Rhonda and I, they never knew what to do with me because I just started hanging around the house, and we were friends, and we trained together and things like that. And I could always tell your mom thought there was something a little bit more to it. So when Rhonda turned around and told her we were going to get married, she was actually one of the few people who was there with us at that point, because it was something we wanted to get done. And we got back to her house after the ceremony, and she looked at me and said, "You're married. You can go upstairs now." I had never seen the second floor of the house because that's where Rhonda's bedroom was. And I thought maybe finally I had somewhat made it by that time. Then we proceeded to follow them around the country to California and South Carolina. It's good to have in-laws who go to really nice places. And we have really enjoyed our time with them in all of those places, and then on to Ohio. And the only thing that was difficult was I hadn't played cards in probably 20 years. And when I sat down with your mom and dad, and I had made an inadvertent mistake in one of the games. And the first thing she said was, "You're a cheat." And I just was, at first I didn't know how to take it. Then I realized, okay, this is another Farley characteristic, and I started learning how to give as well as I got, and they gave me a lot. And we were there with your dad when he was really ill and near the end, and I've never really been good with death at all. But I got up early one morning and he was there in the little computer room, and we sat down and had a real heart-to-heart talk. He knew he was going to die, and it was a very difficult conversation. But the strength that he showed through his entire life, he showed right up until the end. And he was a good man. And I hope I'm a better man for knowing him. And thank you.
Thank you.
Someone else? Janelle?
I'm so grateful to have them living in Ohio over the past few years because my kids got to know them intimately. So to have my kids, who my oldest is 19, know their great grandparents as well as they did. They knew their idiosyncrasies, I don't know how to politically correct say this, but they knew the era that they were from by the words that they've chosen to speak during card games, let's say. And it was just a really neat thing. But the last year has been hard on grandma, and she just always knew. She kept, all of her responses were, God's in control. God's in control. God's in control. We would not even be talking about anything spiritual, and she'd be like, God's in control. Yes, he is. So to have that hope that she has, that we all have, to see them again, it just certainly doesn't make it easier here on earth, but it makes it easier in a way that we can have hope to see them again. So I'm grateful that that we're part of a family that can be just loving through Christ's love. So I'm grateful, so grateful for that.
Amen.
That must be Rodney's. You're outside.
I'll dovetail against, with Tennille, like I'm so grateful for their influence, they were strong in the Lord until the end. And I'm so grateful for their influence in our family's lives for that. But there's not a memory I have that doesn't include my grandparents, whether it was when they lived in Pennsylvania, or especially when they moved to Polly's. My kids we went there every year, several times a year. And so my kids got to have relationships with them also, where they would stay with them overnight in their house. And so they got to know their great grandparents really well. And Papa was definitely super ornery. And everybody always knew, going over to grandma's house, she always made the best food. I love that. And she always made way too much. And I really have to laugh, Marilyn, about your comment, or someone, no, maybe it was Sandy, about the comment about how she had a pantry full of food. She really had a grocery store in her kitchen all the time. I have no idea how she did it. What's that?
And under the bed.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Every closet,
Papa was what gave me my love of beer breath. I don't like beer, but I love beer breath, and I know it's from Papa. And Papa's Blue Ribbon. So that is a long-standing thing for me. I don't know, but I've loved all the memories. I love Papa's orneriness, even to the end. He's just, they're both just wonderful people, and I will definitely miss them.
Okay, so do you have any special memories?
Yeah, I guess growing up, when we went down to South Carolina, we always went fishing with Papa every time. We didn't catch really anything, but we always had a blast, and the food was always amazing. We always played card games too every night. We would even dedicate a night or two when we went down as a family to play as a family with them. That was always a lot of fun. And I think Kai and our favorite memory, or our favorite time of day there, was evening, because they always had Klondikes.
Oh yeah, after dinner.
Yep. So we were always excited to have Klondikes with them. So yeah, I definitely will never have a Klondike without thinking about them ever again. So.
Cool.
Kevin, I know you didn't know them very long.
Yes, I mean, I've met some of you. Hopefully I look forward to meeting the rest of you. So equally blessed that they were around here. I got to know them. It's such a short time. So they both just embraced me into the family. And as anyone would know, that's just a wonderful experience, to feel loved and welcome. And Actually, I remember. So I think the first time I really had a conversation with them, it was a casual lunch, extended family lunch that I'm not sure why I got invited. And I had a couple kids there. And at the end, I forget who passed along to me, but Betty's comment was, Courtney should marry him. And it was very early in our, even extended friendship, early relationship. So that was just a uncanny comment.
Sweet, so
Yeah,
sweet.
very. So
Yeah.
they're just wonderful people, as you guys all know, and I'm grateful that I had really 2 years with them. So it was wonderful.
Kurt? Hey, Kurt? Kurt?
You want the Cliff Notes or the book? Man, I've got 48 years worth of knowing them, more than John, by the way, almost as much as Marilyn. Almost as many as Marilyn. I will say this, that on Ron's side, there was one thing that made an impression on me for 40 plus years. When he prayed with a purpose. And that challenged me when I pray to be sure that I'm praying with a purpose. He wants all of his kids to see him again one day. And that's another thing that he impressed upon me, he impressed upon my Karen and our kids and his kids, that he wants to see them one day again. So it was really, really important to him that everyone has this kind of faith. But praying with a purpose was probably the biggest thing I learned from him. He was always one that could fix anything. And at one point I would call him up, or I would be with him and I'd say, how do you do this? In the last probably 20 years, he'd call me up and say, Kurt, can you come over? Can you fix this? So it kind of reversed its side a little bit, but there was never a time that I ever thought he lost much. Matter of fact, in the last couple of years when he lived here, I would bring him over and he'd sit in a chair and watch me work. And he'd say, Kurt, when are you going to do this again? I said, well, I'm going to be here tomorrow at 5 and I'm going to have my grandkids with me. And he'd come over there and he said, well, I'm going to be there to help show your grandkids how to do this stuff. And he'd sit there and I'd look over and outside it's 40 degrees and he's sound asleep in a chair. He just wanted to be around doing things with your hands, I guess, more than anything. But he showed me a whole lot of things. He also, as he challenged Rhonda that you can do anything, he also challenged me that way too, that you can do it. On Betty's side, yeah, she's tough. She's super tough. But I can tell you, it took her 44 years for her to tell me she loved me. And it was frequent.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that. It's harder for some people to say they love you. They're not like that so much maybe, but I can say that our relationship, when I dropped them off at the plane, she gave me a hug and she said, I love you. So a memory there that not too many of them get because of her mentality, I guess, in some kind of way. I will also attest, I unloaded her entire condo. So on the pantry side, yes, I was unloading things from 1940. There's tuna fish in there that's been in there for probably 7 years that we've moved from South Carolina to here. But yeah, she had a pantry that's made people envious, I guess, at some level. But what a pair. I do remember one of the very first serious comments that your dad, Ron, made to me. We had to tell them that we were going to have Tennille. And we sat down after, of course, Karen had already told her mom, and her mom told Ron. And so I was scared to death about meeting with them after this happened. And I'm sitting at the table and I thought he was going to come after me. And he said, well, guys, what are you knuckleheads going to do now? And then it was moving forward. So it wasn't like getting a lecture on what we should not have done or what we should have done or whatever. It was about, what are you guys going to do? And he was all in support. Another thing I learned from both of them is forgiveness. I mean, it's a big thing in life to be able to forgive. And that's one of the biggest things that I probably failed to do myself, is to be a good forgiver. And that's one thing both of them had taught me over the years about forgiveness. So lots of lessons they've taught me, even though I was kind of their son, but still an in-law. So anyhow.
Leah?
Good deal.
Julia, do you want to say something about
Say
grandma?
about Papa. You want to say something about Papa?
No,
You want to say something about Grandma? Did you love him?
of course I love them.
Well, tell him. Say, I love Grandma.
I love them, mommy.
You love grandma?
Yep, and I told her this morning that she had passed away, and she said, "Oh, that's sad. I'm going to write her a letter to get well."
Where are they, Shalia? Where's grandma and papa?
In heaven.
In heaven.
With Gigi, grandma, daddy.
Yep, with my mom and dad too.
Mhm.
Yep.
Amen.
Someone else here want to say?
I want to hear from David.
David.
I'll talk after David.
Okay, all right, you talk after David.
Matt.
I'm here, Kurt.
Hey, Matt.
Hi. Hey, I think most of the memories were from being a young kid. I mean, we had been around them much when we were older, except for a few family reunions, which was great too. But as kids with my brothers and everyone else, it was always a family reunion, which nowadays I think we kind of took for granted. As kids, you don't really know better, but a lot of families don't have this. And I'm thankful for that. And so, but as everyone has said, it was great to be around Ron and Betty. They're lots of fun. They're, embrace everybody, and Ronnie loves all the kids, and be funny with them. So that was a great memory. I don't know what else to say. I think we went out to, what was it, Pennsylvania once, Mom and Dad? Yeah. Long. And Connecticut, and the long road trips from Denver.
Oh, yeah.
We enjoyed that. I mean, obviously, I was probably 7 or 8 or 10 or something on those trips, and I mean, it was a blast as kids just to have that experience. And it's obviously a different world today, but definitely enjoyed that. Thank you.
Ron? Yep, come on.
All right, can you hear me?
Wait, Ron's gonna come up here.
Ron?
Right.
All right.
Right.
Howdy.
Uncle Ron, haven't seen you in so long.
Oh.
Looking
Well,
good.
tell you what,
Hasn't changed.
I'm gonna,
I know.
oh, thank you, very kind, you're very kind, or very blind. Anyways, I thought I'd mention a couple of experiences I had with Ronnie. They were living in California. We were going to drive up to Yosemite Park one day. And we stopped at a town on the way. I don't know the name of the town. But the girls got out to do some shopping. And Ron and I were walking along the sidewalk there by the stores. And the bar wasn't open yet. But it must have been 10:30 and it opened at 11. But I'm looking in there. He's like, come on, there's someone. He's so chicken. He always did practical jokes and stuff like that. But other instances, he's so chicken. So I said, I think I saw something on the ceiling. Come on. He's all like embarrassed. So we went back. And what it was is this bar was going to celebrate its 100th anniversary. If you had a dollar bill and a quarter, you could put out a quarter through the dollar bill, then they made like a dart out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, and a tack inside. If you could get it stuck to the ceiling, you were invited to the 100th anniversary.
I got mine stuck up there. Oh, I screwed. All excited then. Well, anyways, we did make it to the anniversary. And another time, he and I were driving around by the almond trees. Almonds, right? Almond, right? Not by the almond. So, yeah, we pulled up there and I'm driving up. He said, oh, don't go, no, Dad, you got all nervous. I said, I want to take a closer look. And, oh, there's a guy there now. Come on. I said, I'm going to ask that guy if we can have a tour of this. No, he was he was paranoid. Anyways, we stopped the guide and the guy gave us a fantastic tour of that almond farm. And it was totally awesome, but he was just a chicken, but he liked to do practical jokes at the same time. So I don't know what that contrast is, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Betty, I can't think of any instances. Oh yeah. Phyllis wanted some nuts, and there were walnut trees. Ron says, "Oh, there's all walnuts. Fell on the ground there by the trees. You can have the bag. You can put them in." He didn't tell her they were all rotten. You look inside rotten. Ronnie let her fill that bag up. Oh, well. Yeah, that was one good instance. But with Betty, I just know she liked to play cards. And I think they fought over the crossword puzzles in the paper, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's about it.
Okay, Rod.
Well, Aunt Marilyn, I want to thank you for teaching me a new word. You said earlier, I was ornery. I always thought I was Ronnie, just like my dad. I was just trying to be dad. You know what? Life is too short. You got to have fun. Don't make fun of people. Just have fun. Make light of everything. And, Dad loved this country. I loved all the things that he taught me. I can do just about anything, work on my car, work on plumbing, work on electricity, do a lot of different things just because of watching Dad. I learned how to save money from Mom. And if you don't have it, don't spend it. Just like Uncle Kenny taught me is, who invented the copper wire? It's two Dutchmen fighting over a penny. So I understand how that works. I'm just so grateful. And, people ask me now, how am I doing since your mom just passed away? And I'm doing okay. But I'm so happy for Mom. She's with God, where she wants to be, and she's with Dad where she wants to be. So I'm so thankful for that.
Thank you, Rod.
So I guess it's my turn.
Breathe in, breathe out.
I know. Thank you.
Take the tissue.
We're lucky to have Mom and Dad as my parents. Dad was always so kind and gentle, and he expected a lot. I remember if you would bring home a grade card that had a B on it, it's like, oh, I was so disappointed. It's like, he just expected, but he was always kind, and I don't ever remember being disciplined by him, in a harsh way. You just knew you didn't want to upset him because he was just disappointed. But I know he loved me, and I thank him in his life for taking me as his own. I've always felt loved by him. Mom, from what I hear, I have some mom tendencies. Yes, I am Dutch for sure.
Ain't no doubt.
My girl's gonna. Yeah, she taught me a lot, how to be frugal and save money, and yeah, so she was tough, but I was so glad to have her because she had moved right after I had my first daughter, and so I never had my mom be near me at the during my growing up. But the last 3 years having them up there has been just so special, and she always felt like she was a burden to me, but I kept saying, Mom, you're not a burden. I love having you here. And there's just so many great memories I have of them. And I just felt so blessed and honored to be with them. And she was had such a strong faith. And she so wanted to be home after Dad passed. It was harder for her. I don't think she realized how hard it was going to be to physically miss Dad. She said, I know where he is, but I think she just missed him. And it was hard being with her the last week. To watch her suffer, we didn't think it was the end. That if they just find out why she's hurting, they can fix it. God was ready for her, and she was ready to go home. And I'm just thankful that she got to go home. She's out of pain. She gets to be with Jesus, and she gets to be with Dad.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Hoorah.
Anyway, we can stop probably the recording, and I thank oh, sure.
I think a good way to close this is I've lost both of my parents, my mom and my dad. And one of the things that I discovered in life is this, that while you lose your parents, you don't lose the fingerprint they stuck on you, right? You think that when they go, that their voice will dim in your life, that their voice will fade out. Well, that's not true. You carry your parents with you all the way to the end, and their voice does not fade out. So you will still hear the voice of your mother, still hear the voice of your aunt, still hear the voice of your uncle and your dad. It stays with you, and you carry it with you all the way to the end. So while they may be gone, they're still here in some ways, and they're a part of all of us, and they had an influence on all of us. And so it's a memory that we can cherish, and it still affects our life in a positive way. And that's just an awesome thing about having great people in your life like they were for us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you to Neil for arranging all this so we can have.
Thank you, Tennille.
All right. Is anybody else?